Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Friday night. Hopefully, everybody can hear me loud and clear. And
How's it going, everybody?
we
Uh,
got Michael here, but he's sort of iffy tonight. So we've called in a pinch hitter. So hopefully that pinch hitter will be here real soon, and we're going to continue on. And we've got a great show planned tonight. We are so super excited to have everyone here tonight. And as always, we're going to go through and we're going to do our shout outs as always. And we got a big crowd in here already piling in on a Friday night. We got Mr. Old Pelon in the house. Glad to have Old Pelon with us. We got Mr. Button Digger. He says, "What's cracking in his red dirt?" He's digging in that red dirt. So glad to have him with us. We got Stuart Justice in here tonight. Glad to have Stuart with us. We got Mr. Damian Thorne with us tonight. Glad to have Damian in the house as always. Mr. David Link, 9760. Glad to have you in here with us, David. We appreciate you so much. We've got Mr. Doug Atkins. He says, "Good evening, everyone." Got that cannonball in front of that shovel. Love seeing that. We've got Mr. Richard Pelkey all the way from Vermont. Glad to have Richard. Mr. Digging Daryl's in the house. So happy to have Daryl with us tonight. And hopefully Daryl's out having a nice, relaxing evening with his family. But we are super excited to have him. We've got Mr. Sniff It Out in here. Glad to have Sniff It Out with us again. We got Mr. Gary and the Goose Detecting in the house with us. Glad to have Gary and the Goose Detecting. Elsie Hunt's in here. He says, "Hello, how's everybody doing?" We got Miss Bells in the house. Good evening to Bells. Glad to have Bells. We got Mr. Richard Pelkey again in the house. We said him earlier. We got Mr. Dirt Devil Detecting. Glad to have him with us tonight. We've got Beep Quest is here. Glad to have Beep Quest with us. Appreciate you joining the channel tonight. We got Mr. RB in Georgia. Good evening, RB. Glad to have you here, and happy Friday night to you as well. Detect Meister's in here with us as always, all the way from Ireland. So excited to have him with us, and he is a real supporter of the channel. Mr. Ancient Kernow is in here. Says, "Good evening, gang. Glad to have you in here with us tonight. Appreciate you joining in." We got Detector 2 Guns from Florida. Says Florida is in the house. We got Mr. Digging Buddy. He says hashtag beer, and it's happy hour. It's Friday night happy hour, metal detecting style. So glad to have Digging Buddy with us as always. We got DCM. Says congratulations on the Merc, Mr. Beat Quest. DCM, glad to have you in here with us tonight, buddy. We've got Spectre V3I, always excited to have him here with us. Appreciate you joining with us tonight. We've got user HX3EV3NG5G with a big lion as his logo there. But super excited to have you in here. Thanks for joining in. We got Mr. Lance McElwain in here. Glad to have Lance with us. Appreciate Lance joining in. We got Mr. Surfside Dan, my main man. Glad to have him with us tonight. We got Yakina1. He says HF2s are starting to show up on eBay. He says, "You wonder why?" Well, we'll talk a little bit more about the HF2, and we'll see what's going on with that and some of the stuff that I'm hearing. We got, I think that's everybody. I don't think I missed anybody.
So you got Chris Counter on there.
Chris,
did you see that? Yeah, he's ancient.
Is he this Ancient Kernow?
Yeah, Kernow.
Yeah. He says, "I'm here. It's Chris Counter. Looking forward to the show." Okay, glad to have Chris from the XP Deus 2 group. As always, we appreciate Chris joining in. He says, "Cheers, gang. Glad to see you." Well, we're glad to see you too, Chris. So it's been an eventful last couple of weeks as we've played around with the new updates from XP. We've been experimenting with the HF2 coil, seeing what we can figure out with that. And of course, we've had some really successful hunts over the last few weeks. So again, and I'm going to say this because it needs to be said, we test these machines and then we take them out in the field and use them. I would rather see real live world digs than somebody swinging in their backyard. I mean, that's just it. You
Yeah,
know,
I agree 100%.
if you don't use the machine out in the real world, in the field, how are you ever going to learn anything about the machine? Because sometimes these tests are not always what they cut out to be. They really aren't. And I'm going to say this too. Some tests can actually be staged. You can make these tests show exactly what you want them to show. So keep those things in mind, because taking these things out in the field definitely gives you a lot of information that you're not going to get from a test. Just keep that in mind. So, yes. Doug Atkins says YouTube has made some changes to users' names. Yeah, I was wondering,
Noticed
Doug. I
that,
saw
yeah.
yours earlier. So, yeah. But anyway, thanks for sharing that, Doug. So we're going to have Mr. Mike Hiles going to be joining us from LMS Metal Detecting here soon, since Michael's a little bit under the weather, and he's on here sort of as a voice. He's like from above right now, talking down to us. So he's here, but Mike's going to be joining in real soon. So the first thing I really wanted to do is to sort of show some of the finds that we found just recently. And some of these finds are Michael's finds. A couple of them are Mike Hiles' finds, LMS Metal Detecting's finds, and then a couple of them are my finds. And so we have definitely, used these machines. We tested out the software. We've noticed some things. We know that XP is working again on some updates for some things to try to improve some things. So you can get ready for that, because that is coming. So be prepared for that. And, we go out in the field and we start looking for things, and, we look for clues. And one of the clues that we look for is iron. And of course, all of you know that. We go out, we listen for the iron. Then once we settle in on the iron, then we start to look for the non-ferrous targets in those areas, because that alerts us and lets us know that there's a structure in that area. So again, that's one of the first things we do when we go out and detect. And then when we find non-ferrous targets, we try to start dating them, such as a button. For instance, a button in a field. So guess what? A button in a field can tell you a lot about that particular property. It can tell you its age. It can tell you all sorts of information that you need to be able to figure out, hey, when was this place around? What time period was it? It can also tell you that, hey, this button, because of the time period it's from, there could be some other things in this field. There could be some other things in the woods when you find these buttons, because I get a lot of these questions sometimes. Well, why do you always dig buttons? Well, just to explain some of this, these places are massive plantations. There were enslaved people on these plantations. They were working every single day for 200 years in some cases, where they were out in these fields and they were doing work, and naturally they lost buttons. Okay. There were also Civil War soldiers and Revolutionary War soldiers that passed through these fields, through these old home sites. And that's what those buttons can lead to. So when you see
Detector two guys had a
what's
question.
that?
He asked if he needed to update if he doesn't have the HF coil. No, you don't. You can. I mean, if you want to, you can stay on 2.0.
Yeah, you can stay on 2.0. But we're going to get to that, Michael. I'm trying to just sort of explain to people why buttons are important when we're metal detecting. That's the thing. These buttons tell us a lot about what we're looking for and how they can lead to other things. And yes, those buttons can be mixed with iron. And again, it's a non-ferrous, usually a lower conductor, that's going to be mixed with iron. And so when I dig a button, that button means the world to me. Number one, it's a piece of history. Number two, it tells me information that I need to know about a field or a woods or a home site. It gives me that information that I need in order to be able to figure out things. So again, it's not just a button. It's a button with a story to tell. And that's where I'm at. I'm a history teacher I look for history. I don't look for relics to sell. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. There are people on YouTube that sell relics. I'm not that guy. You know, I love the history. I love finding things. I love running metal detectors, and I love having fun. So I just wanted to clarify how important those buttons that you see me finding sometimes, those buttons are an important part of history, and they tell a story, and they tell us so much information that we need in order to be able to figure out a site. If you find one button, that can lead to all kinds of things, such as the things that I'm getting ready to show you. So keep those things in mind. So let's go back to the question that Michael was asking me. Who asked that, Michael?
Detector 2 guys.
Yes. He said, do I need to update if I'm not using the HF2 coil? No, you do not have to update. Remember, and I want to stress this too, because there seems to be some mix up. This is beta software. Beta, B-E-T-A, beta software, which means it is going to have bugs. It is going to have issues. It is not perfect. It's just like when you get one of these phones, okay? If you wanted to, you could sign up for a beta program, but they tell you clearly that when you sign up for the beta program, there's going to be bugs. There's going to be issues. There could be problems until the final version is out. So if you choose to sign up for a beta software, you're choosing knowing that there are going to be bugs, okay? And there's going to be issues with beta software. That's what beta software is. So keep that in mind, because some people don't seem like they understand that. So if you're afraid of signing up for the beta software, the version 3 software, then don't do it. Stay on 2.0. But if you do sign up for it, just understand that there's going to be some bugs in it. There's going to be some issues that you're going to see. Doesn't mean that the software is unusable. Doesn't mean you can't go out there and find stuff with it. You can go out there and do all kinds of fun things with it, which is exactly what I've been doing. And you guys know that because you've watched the videos. And you guys can see we're having a great time with it. We're, is it perfect? By no means, no. It is not perfect. Yes, it's got flaws and bugs in it right now, but it's not unusable, okay? So keep those things in mind when you sign up for it, but you do not have to sign up for that. So that's totally up to you. If you've got the FMF coils and you don't want to go to version 3 and you're happy with version 2 or 1.10 or you're 1.0 or 0.71 or 0.61 or whatever you're using, then stay there until the final version comes out and then try. It's totally up to you. And that's the great thing. And that's all XP's doing at this point is to try to get the software corrected. And even though they've got some of the best testers in the world in Europe, in France, that are testing these things, they still can't see everything. So that's sort of why they released the beta, to sort of get a feel for what you guys are seeing. That's why it's imperative that you leave feedback. If you decide to go this route, you want to do beta software, then leave feedback and email XP and let them know, hey, this is an issue that I saw when I was out in the field, and just report it to them, because the more voices they hear, the better the software is going to become. So keep those things in mind. And again, Apple, the biggest cell phone company in the entire world, that's exactly what they do. They release a beta software. They just released beta 20. They just released iOS 26, which is in beta right now. So it'll be in beta up until
September.
September or October before they release the final version. So all these people that are using beta know that they're going to have bugs in the beta software.
Well, that's a good question. How do you report to them? Just email, I'm assuming, right, Brian?
Right. You can go over there, and I believe they have a contact information sheet up there, and you can leave that information on that when you contact them. But if you see a bug the best thing to do is just report it to them. Give them a heads up so they can make this thing the way that we all want it. And again, I was real excited about the software, and I'm still real excited about this version 3 software. I think it's only going to get better, but the way it gets better is by people reporting it. They've got testers on site in France that test it, but they can't test every single thing. And that's why they release it to the public in this beta version software, which I'm sort of glad that they did it that way. We all had the opportunity to test it. We all have the opportunity to give feedback for it to make it a better coil. So that's the reason behind the beta software. And I talk with them quite regularly, and that's where they're going with this. And there's probably going to be another update coming fairly soon. I don't know when, but there'll be another update that'll come soon. And this is how they get things right. So keep those things in mind. But if you sign up for it, you really can't complain about it because you know that it's going to have bugs and there's going to be issues with it. The best thing you can do is if you see a bug, report it to XP. Let them deal with it and let them figure it out. They have engineers, and they have some of the best engineers in the entire world that are working on this, and they will get it right. They will get it right, and they're going to keep working at it. I promise you. I've talked to them quite regularly. So let's see here. And guys, I'm flying solo other than Michael in the background, and Kyle's supposed to be here real soon. So hopefully he pops in just a few. But yeah, Spectra V3i says, how do you report them? You just, again, go over there to XP's website, and I believe there's a contact button. And all you got to do is put contact and just put XP -2 bug, whatever version of the software you're on, beta software you're on, and let them know this is what you saw. So I'm on 3.04. They did let you go back to 3.03 if you like, I believe, and I think that's still up as far as I know. So you can use either one of those beta versions at this point. I do know they're still working on some things. So again, hopefully another update we'll probably see, sometime in the near future. I hope so. We'll see. Right, Android does the same with their software, right? And I was a tester for Motorola. And I've done the beta program through Apple. But when Android first came out, I was a tester. I had the first Droid that came out. I mean, they basically sent you the beta software, and then you reported back the bugs and the issues that you saw with the software. But with them, you had to sign a special agreement to use that beta software, and you were only supposed to report those bugs to them, and so they could get them fixed before they released the final version to the public. And that's
Right.
how Motorola worked back in, what was that, 2010, 2011, 12, and that
Yeah,
period.
somewhere along in there.
Yeah. So anyway, Spectra V3i says, I'm on beta 3.04 with the 9-inch coil, waiting for the HF2 coil to be in stock before I order. Okay, good. Right. And just remember, if you do get the HF2 coil, just to clarify one more time, if you do get the HF2 coil, you must have version 3 software. You can't run 2.0 with the HF2 coil because you're using those higher frequencies, and version 3 will only let you use those higher frequencies. So you got to have version 3 once you get the HF2 coil. If you try to hook it up to 2.0, not going to happen. So that's a biggie. Let's see here. Yes, thumbs up. Thank you so much, Wally Coyote. I appreciate that. A Dirt Devil Detective says, I'm not loving it, but I'm out using it. Keep trying it, buddy. Michael had a great day with it last Saturday, and Michael's on here still as we're waiting on LMS metal detecting to pop in. Michael, tell the people about what you thought about its performance on that site that we were on Saturday.
I think it done great hunting in the iron, and it could pick out it picked out buds and some other items that really surprised me we had missed, because I know we've hunted this spot over and over again. And like you said, there's a couple of little bugs with it, but it's nothing that's going to keep you from finding good targets.
Right. And we're all about finding, that's the whole thing. You're in this hobby because you love finding things. You're not in this hobby to watch testing videos with somebody swinging around in their backyard. You're into getting out and finding things. And that's what we all want to know. Will this software and will this coil find something? And yes, it will. And Michael had no issue with finding things the other day running the HF2 coil. And we compared targets. If you go watch my video, you can see Michael and I were comparing. Now, I have yet to find a target that the 9-inch coil, that the HF2 coil will hit, that the 9-inch coil won't hit. We haven't done that yet. So, I hope to do that at some point, but right now it seems like they're neck and neck. And, that's, and as soon as they come up with this next update and the update after that, then maybe we start to see some of those things sort of change at that point. But you
I
guys,
think we will.
let's see. CZ Digger says Southern Rail. Is there a layer of colonial trash targets other than iron and lead? Well, yeah. Well, it's iron for the most part. Iron and lead are the two main culprits usually
Right.
in almost all of our sites. But I can get some modern trash mixed in, but not colonial trash stuff. Lead, iron. That's pretty much it. Can you think of anything else, Michael? Tin, maybe some tin.
Yeah, maybe that'll be a little bit later though.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just small pieces of lead and sometimes large pieces of lead. It makes you wonder what they used it for.
Yeah, well, they use lead for everything, Michael. Of course, we find those fishing weights on a lot of these colonial sites and Civil War sites. We dig a lot of those homemade lead fishing weights, and they look like 69 caliber musket balls. And you're going like, oh, I got a musket ball, and then you realize, oh, it's a fishing weight. But
Right.
lead was used for all sorts of things. Lead bag seals, of course, you guys have seen us dig before. So there's a lot of things on there, but there are some improvements. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows and everything. There are some improvements that need to be made to the HF2 coil, and again, I have confidence in XP that they're going to make some of those improvements. That's just where I'm at on that, and you can remember, and I said this 100 times. This is a situational coil. I've said it over and over and over again. This is not probably going to be your everyday coil. When you get into a very, very trashy site where you've got tight, multiple targets all over the place, and you need a smaller detection zone to get in between some of the trash and the iron and so on, then this is going to be good for that. If you have high MI, this is going to be good for that. If you have tight spaces that you can't get at with your normal coil because of the length and the way the coil is shaped, this is going to be good for that. So there are a lot of good things about this coil. And again, I look to XP to make it better, and I feel like they will. I know they're working hard on it. So again, just like I said with Garrett and the Vortex, give them time, let them work on it. They'll figure it out. If you have it and you see an issue, just let them know. And just remember, you are on a beta software. So until they get some of those things ironed out completely, because there are going to be some things that these engineers just can't see testing. That's why they want you using these things and getting them out in the field so they can improve it and make it better so that we have what we want. That's pretty much where we're at with that. Let's see. Button Digger says, I'm run 3.04 in sonar with the elliptical, and he says he loves it. And that's great. Yeah, we've enjoyed swinging it. I know that for a fact. Relics and Marine says, running the HF in 29 kilohertz max frequency, the coil does just fine, in my honest opinion, hunting trashy sites. Right. And then we've seen, and I know some of you have gone over to Page Street's videos, and if you watch him, and he's in that modern trash, and I know he digs a lot of stuff, but every hole that you dig, and I want everybody to hear this too, every hole that you dig is a chance to learn something. Keep that in mind too. So when you take it out in the field and you start seeing certain things, you can see those things over and over again until eventually some of those things start to click with you. And you realize, hey, I need to do this or I need to do that. So running these things out in the field definitely gives you a learning experience, if anything. You learn from all these holes that you dig over time. You pick up and you start storing data that you can take out and start using on the next time. Right. Change is good. Speaking of change, are the experts hearing about a high-end detector that is in the works from Nocta? Spill the beans, Brian. Well, I've heard some of that. I have not talked to Nocta probably in about 2 months. I'm just going to be honest with you guys, but I believe she's going to be on here. She has mentioned it about coming on here when they do launch this next product and coming on here and talking with us about it. So we're looking forward to having Deelick back on here and her sharing some of her information and what she's got going on with Nocta. But look, Nocta's been really quiet, and I really feel like that and I said this last year, I think Nocta's on the verge of really sort of going up to another bar, to another level in what they produce and make. I know they've been known as the lower end metal detector company, and I think they're ready to sort of make that next jump or that next step. So I would love to see Nocta get into this and have a machine that will run with some of the higher end machines as well. And I look forward to that. And I hope it happens. I really do. And I hope it happens this year. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice. CZ Digger says it's able to work with stability with different versions. Old Timer 307. He's responding in. Yeah, he says he's still on 0.6 and 0.7. So the headphones are 0.5. Yeah, it might be time to update, Old Timer. But hey, if it's working, and I'll say this too, guys. If it's working for you and you don't feel you have the need to update, then don't update. I mean, that's plain and simple. Nobody's telling you, hey, you got to go to version 3. If you got the FMF coils, you don't have to go to version 3. Like I said at the beginning, use what works for you. Just remember, if you go to version 3 right now, it is a beta software. There are bugs. There are going to be issues. So keep that in mind and just roll with it. Go out and have fun. That's what we're all here for. We're here to have fun. We're here to find things and share some history, hopefully along the way. HMD Kentucky says change is good. Speaking of change, yeah, I just answered that one. We got that one. Detect Meister says, I ordered my HF coil on the 8th of May and still no sign of it coming soon. Well, I hope it'll get there soon. I would think that they're probably hitting close to, I won't say they're 100% production at this point, but I'm sure they're getting close. It takes a while to roll all these things out and make a mass produce a lot of these. So Detect Meister, I hope it happens for you real soon. Keep us posted on that and check with your dealer or whoever you ordered it from. And I know you probably do daily, and I'm sure they can get you hooked up and let you know what's going on. Spectre V3i says, I want to try the HF2 coil in iron-infested upstate New York fields. I miss my 4x6 coils on my Weiss detectors, but I mostly use 6x9 coil for them. Yeah, and I think it's going to be good in those situations. Like I said, Michael was running it in a pretty iron-contaminated site the other day, and I've run it on a really tough site as well. And both of us had success. I dug 2 bucket listers, if you want to call them that. And I'm going to show those for everybody in just a few minutes. But yeah, I dug 2 bucket listers off of this site running that coil and was really impressed with what I saw. And I just think it's going to get better. And I have a lot of faith in XP. I really do. So just keep that in mind. The Dan Meister said, do you remember the Xterra light I won here on this great show back in May? Well, I got to upgrade it to a Manicore. There you go. Debbie took care of you. Well, that's awesome, Detect Meister. Glad to hear that. So are you liking the Manicore? That's the other question. So Oh, and fairgrounds are well infested with slaw, pull tabs, beaver tails, full, and light bulb metal parts. So, yeah, so that's a lot in there. So,
Yeah, it
yeah,
is.
that 9-inch coil or that elliptical 9-inch coil will do great in that site, I would think. Gary Holes is in here. Glad to have Gary. He says, good evening from Southern Oregon. Glad to have you here tonight, Gary. 5 Mile Relic Hunters in here. Glad to have 5 Mile. Appreciate you being here always as well. Knocked on the verge of knocking it out of the ballpark. They are. And I've said that, CZ. You and I are on the same page for sure. I really believe that they've got something in the works. And if I do find out something and they allow me to share it, I will definitely share it with you guys as soon as I hear, for sure. Button Digger says, you got to watch him in slow motion. Hey, I'll give that guy credit. He gets out there and he does it every day. I wish I could do it every day, but I can't. So, but he gets out there and does it for sure. And good for him. Let's see here. Doug Atkins says, I went to 3.04 in hopes of learning it prior to the HF2 arriving. That's a great idea, Doug.
Yeah, that's kind of the way we done it.
Right. Yeah, because you got to learn the software. And again, I do realize there's bugs. I do. I realize it 100%. And I hope everybody else is realizing that. People that are criticizing the HF2 coil, just keep in mind that it's still in a beta software for it. So, take that with a grain of salt for those people that are criticizing it somewhat. LC Hunt says, I got my HF coil last week. Hope to use it this weekend. I hope so, LC. Let us know how you do. And if you need any assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll be glad to help you. Hunk 35 said, this may have been asked, but can you run the HF coil on pre? No. And yeah, that's the thing. And that's what I've been talking about for the last few minutes is once you do the 3.0 update, then you can't run, or once you go into 2.0, you can't run the HF2 coil with 2.0 software. You have to have version 3 software. So yes, and you get those high frequencies with it. So yeah, it will not work at all if you try to run it with 2.0. So hopefully that answers your question. Old Pelon says, my parks have a lot of bottle caps and can slaw. Would this coil work good in this situation? I believe so. I believe that this coil could be, believe it or not, I know this sounds, and this is what my buddy Rob Rizzo, the history digger, has been saying. And he and I have talked a lot about it. If you ran that, the lower frequency max on this coil, and you set up maybe like a program like what Michael and I run, which is a 2-tone program lately, I believe you could go into a park and maybe sift through some of that and turn it into a coin sniffer just by the size and the shape of it. What do you think about that, Michael?
I think you're right. I like running that 2-tone program, especially in the iron, because, it's similar to pitch, but I think the deeper signals sound better with that 2-tone program to me.
Yeah, the deeper signals. Yeah. They do. They have more of a clean sound to them. You can, I could really, and I don't know if you guys saw it, and I should have pulled this video up, but when Michael dug that seeded silver quarter the other day, you could hear how smooth sounding that coin was versus probably some of the other targets that he dug during that day, which I thought was, that 2-tone program gives you that. With pitch, even though I like pitch a lot, don't get me wrong, I love running pitch, but with pitch, it's just so abrupt, and it's like there's not a lot of audio modulation in the sound of it. Whereas when you run that 2-tone program, you get I don't know, it's just a very smooth sound with running that 2-tone, which I like a lot. And I like full tones too. You guys know that. I run full tones, pitch, and Michael and I have really been enjoying running 2 tones with this HF2 coil in those real trashy situations. And it seems to be working really, really well for us. HMD Kentucky says, have you ever used a Coiltech coil? I have. I've got a Coiltech coil for my Equinox 900. The elliptical coil, actually.
5x10, right?
Yeah, the 5x10, and I love that coil. That coil is awesome on that machine. for the Equinox 900. So yeah, I do like that Coiltech coil for that machine. And I haven't run anything but on that machine, so I can't speak to the rest of them, but I know Coiltech makes a really, really good product from what I've heard. So we got Chris is in the house. He says, hey, CZ Digger. We got Teresa, the treasure hunter. Glad to have you in here, Teresa. Thanks for joining in with us tonight. We got Mr. Gary Holes. The white coil. White coil would drive me goofy. It's like driving through a blizzard. The white coil. Yeah, I still don't know why they picked white, but I guess they just wanted it to look different. I meant to ask Philippe that the other night when we had him on, and I forgot about that. JJQJ9ZN says, when is XP releasing the HF2 coil for the rest of it? Well, it's released. The problem is they got to get all these things shipped out. And JJ, I don't know where you are or if you're in the U.S. or if you're somewhere else, but again, be patient. You should start more of these coming by the end of this month, which is the end of the month coming up. And
they have a state-of-the-art company, but it's not a very big company, and they're shipping these coils all over the world, so it's going to take a little bit to get them out into the market to everyone.
Right. Gary Holes says, I use my Coiltech on my Equinox 800. Love the size and performance. Yeah, I've got mine for. Let me see. Okay. Speaking of it, grab that real quick. So there's mine. That's on my Equinox 900, and I love that coil. I mean, it's solid too. It's a 5x10. 5x10.
I had that same coil for my Equinox 800, and I loved it. It was a great coil.
It's awesome. And the Equinox 900 is a great machine. I love that 900. I need to use it more. I really do. Because it's a great machine. Justin Dig Deeper is on here. He says, is the HF2 coil good in creeks? Well, I have not tried it in a creek.
I would say it would be very good.
I would think if it's a freshwater creek, I don't think you're going to have any issues. I don't think you'd have any issues running it in some saltwater creeks as well. So, yeah, I think it would be fine. So you might want to hook the antenna up if you get fairly deep. So just don't forget that. LC Hunt says, what base program are you running with the HF2 coil? I've been running fast.
Yeah. With
the HF2, running a 2-tone program. For relics, I've been running 53 kilohertz. We've been running our reactivity. I've been running mine at 2.5 or 2. I've been running the silencer at 1. You could lower it down, but that's pretty much the settings. PWM audio, and I turned the second tone bank up, or the second tone break up, about as high as I can go, up into the 900s. Running that program, and it works really, really well for me. And I believe Michael, you were using the same setup, right?
Right, pretty much the same setup. I think I ran it like 930 the second tone, and then iron tone for the other one, and it worked. It worked really great. I mean, it's we found some good stuff that day, and it would pick the buttons out, no problem.
Right. So we got Mr. Mike Heil on here. Mike, can you hear us? Well, we'll take him down for a minute. Maybe he'll come back. You still there with me, Michael?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I'm adding me back. Okay. Well, maybe I'll get him in here in just a minute. He's showing up down at the bottom, but he's not coming through. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, we'll keep on rocking and rolling. Let's see. Detect Meister says, I updated to 3.02, then 3.03. There he is. Now he's back. Let's see if we got Mike. Hey, Mike. Well, we lost him. Every time I got to click on him, I lose him. All right. Well, we'll come back. Let's move from stage. All right. So let's Detect Meister says, I updated 3.02, then 3.03. Now 3.04, it's out. So I think I'll wait till they have it sorted. Has anyone else noticed that you don't lose your programs when you update? And I think that's been mentioned before. You don't lose your programs in a lot of cases, and that's great because a lot of people don't want to lose that program as well. So hang on one second. I've screwed something up here myself. Anyway, I feel like this camera zoomed in on my face here, Michael. HMD Kentucky says, I see that Gamecock colored glass you sipping on. Go Cats, go Kentucky, the Wildcats. There you go. Yeah, we always have some good games when we play Kentucky, so I get it. Detector Two Guns has an interesting question. He says, if you guys only have one detector, what would it be? Michael, are you there? I think he's gone. There are so many to choose from. There really are. I still lean heavily towards the Deus 2 and then the Manicore. I mean, those would be my two, and that's where I'm sticking with. But there are so many good machines out there for everyone to use. So again, you have to decide which one's going to be the best for you. And again, whatever machine you have, learn it, use it, get the best you can with it, and have fun out metal detecting. That's always been my motto, and I think that's where a lot of you are too. You love it, just enjoying going metal detecting. So again, go out there and use it, have fun, whatever machine you have, and just enjoy it. Let's see here. I'm flying solo now. No Michael, no Mike House. I'm on my own, so we'll get through this. The Tech Meister says, once I did lose mine going from 3.02 to 3.04. So, Michael, are you there? Michael, are you there? Let's see if yeah, there he is. There's Mr. Michael. Way to join in. How about
Sorry, my apologies.
That's okay. Well, guys, I don't know if y'all know this. This is Mr. Mike Heil from LMS Metal Detecting. He's our preferred metal detecting dealer. He's the guy that you've seen with me out on the last couple of hunts too. And we're super excited that he was able to jump in and help Michael out tonight because Michael, again, is a little bit under the weather. And we wanted to have a pinch hitter, which is what Michael is. He's the pinch hitter coming in.
He is. He most certainly is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
hopefully I can fill his shoes.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can. We appreciate you being here. So, Mike, we've been mainly talking XP stuff. We've talked a little bit of Manicore stuff. We've talked Nocta stuff. So we've been all over the field, but we were just talking about the values too of taking your coil out into the field and running it and learning from your real world experiences and how every hole is a chance to learn something about your machine and so on. And we were basically saying what you and I have talked about multiple times too. And that is that, whatever machine you have, go out there, learn it, get the best you can with it, and try to make sure that you're taking it out in the field, you're using it, and you're learning it every day. And don't worry about somebody saying, well, I've got this machine and I think my machine's better than your machine, or whatever it may be.
Right.
Enjoy what you have and make the most of it. That's just the way I've always been.
Absolutely. It's one of those things. Just remember, have fun is the biggest thing. But obviously, you want to dig some decent targets too. But
well, we're all about finding stuff, Mike. We're not just here to look and talk about metal detectors. We want to get out there and find things with them. And
absolutely.
And that's what we do. The Tech Meister says there's a rumor that XP is working on a 5th coil. Well, we saw the video, and I don't know if Mike's seen it yet or not, but anyway, I watched it yesterday, and it did say a 5th coil. Now, here's the thing that you need to keep in mind. Was the fifth coil referring to the Extreme Hunter, or were they referring to another coil? So that is the question. I think they're playing a game of semantics here with the wording, saying there's a fifth coil. So that's something that I don't know. And I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, I know there's another coil coming, because I don't know that. And so again, that's something that XP will have to answer, but it would not surprise me. I mean, I'm just going to say that there may be another coil in the works. When we will see it, that's the real question. And so I can't answer that question. You know, I just don't know. So yeah, Detector 2 Gun says, if you had to pick one coil, we were just answering this a few minutes ago, Mike. It says, if you would pick one machine, what machine would it be? And Detector 2 Gun says that for him, it would be the XP Deus 2. And I said this too, you know, I probably go XP Deus 2. I didn't go Manicore, but I could use either one of those machines, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything with those machines. I also believe that all these machines perform very, very well, and learning them and knowing them the best you can is going to help you find things regardless. It doesn't matter how much money you spend on a machine. It's how well you know the machine.
That's true.
Like I've been saying, you know, and I think I told you guys this earlier, and I've said this to Mike a few times. I used to play a lot of golf, and I worked in a pro shop for a very, very long time. And there was this older gentleman that used to come into my shop, and one of the things that he would always say, he would look at me, he'd come in and he'd try all the latest and greatest clubs and drivers and everything. And he would always look at me. He said, son, he said, there's one thing I want you to remember. He says, it's not the arrow, it's the Indian. And that's me, because again, those were some of the best and most expensive clubs you could possibly buy. And he would go out there and beat my brains out with those old bladed clubs, and would just hammer me, and I would have the latest and greatest. And here this guy is just kicking the crap out of me. And that has stuck with me. And I still believe that even with this, and I believe that there's a very small percentage of finds that'll be found just with some of these extra features. I just don't believe that percentage is that big of a margin, or at least that's me. Teresa says, hello, everyone. I'm looking forward to getting the new HF2 coil, and we hope you get it very, very soon, Teresa. Mike is selling the HF2 coil. Mike, you got any insight on?
No insight. Last time I talked with them, they said hopefully soon, and that's all I could really get. But we're hoping the next shipment will be a significant amount, so maybe we can really drop some numbers on this next shipment. Let's hope anyway.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
HMD Kentucky says, I'm considering the Coil Tech for my Legend, but is not coming out with a smack deity high-end detector. I may need to hold off. I just don't know the answer to that question. I do know they're coming with a pulse induction, which they have made that sort of public, but I don't know about the other. And we were talking about that earlier too, Mike, whether we felt like that Nocta was coming with something. I got to believe they are, and I got to believe it will be a higher end machine, but I could be totally wrong. But I just feel like Nocta's on the verge of something really, really good in the near future. So that's all I can tell you at this point, or at least that's what I think at this point.
I believe they are. They're working on that pulse machine right now. And you remember a ways back, she did mention, I'm talking about the leak, she did mention a VLF version as well. Possibly is what the wording was. So I'm anticipating something, yeah.
Right. Well, me too, Mike. Teresa, the Treasure Hunter, says, hey, Brian, would you mind posting those settings on your Facebook or sending them to me, please? Sure, Teresa. I'll be glad to share those with you. But I will say this, and I try to say this every time. My settings may not work in your area. I can give them to you, and you can try them and maybe modify them to fit your area. But if you live in very mild or neutral soil, these settings should work okay for you. But if you live in mineralized soil, or there's certain types of things that you might be dealing with that I'm not dealing with, that could alter those settings. So just be prepared for that. But I would be more than happy to post those on my Facebook group, the settings that I was using, for sure. Yeah, I'll be glad to. Digging Daryl says, if you could have only one detector, it would be the Deus 2, right? Well, you guys know I've been a hardcore Deus 2 user and XP user. Mike knows this too. I've been a hardcore XP user, really for almost 9 years, 11 years almost. So I really like XP products. But Mike also knows I love running Mind Lab stuff too, and so does Mike. But
I do.
I'm starting to pull Mike over to that XP side too, because he's seen some of the advantages of running that XP machine.
Absolutely.
We've had a ball hunting together and trying out all these different machines and testing all the new software, the new Coil. We've done it all, and it's been a ball. The last hunt that we did, Mike was running the 11-inch on the Deus 2 with the 3.04 software. I was running the 9-inch with the 3.04 software, and Michael was running the HF2 with the 3.04 software. So we had everything covered for XP out there in that field, and we all did great. This guy did really good, and I'm going to share his find in just a minute. But he did great with a beautiful 1700 Sportsman's button, which was we really thought it might even be something even more special than that. I'm going to share that with you guys in just a minute. And then Michael with the find of the day, that seated Liberty quarter. We were never expecting to see something like that come flying out of the ground. And that was so much fun. And Chris Engel says, "Hey, Mike," he wants to let you know he's recognized you there. Hello, Mike. And the SK Ferraro from Massachusetts says, "Hello, Mike."
How's it going?
Doug Atkins says, "I just want the HF2 before we start worrying about another new one." That's true. We're already talking about what's going to be the next one, and a lot of us don't even have the HF2. Doug Atkins says he's number 3 on your list, Mike.
Yeah, he's right down there. He's close.
So he's hoping. He's hoping. We got to get in that Coil too, Doug. Doug is such an awesome guy too. Edward G13 says, "I can't imagine they aren't when Delic mentioned something higher end, as Mike just said as I was typing." Right. I can't imagine either. So I get it. Detector 2 Gun says, "I had a pulse induction detector. Man, I love digging them 14-inch bobby pins and fish weights." Well, that's what you get when you get that pulse induction. But some of these newer pulse inductions are going to sort of be hybrid machines, right, Mike?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, matter of fact, Mind Lab's working on something right now with the Monster 2000. They really haven't made a whole lot of announcements about it or details, that sort of thing. But interested to see what that's going to be and how it's going to function, crossing that pulse to VLF technology. That ought to be interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. And I saw that the Gold Monster, it's called the Gold Monster, right, Mike?
Yeah, Gold Monster 2000.
Gold Monster 2000. It's got a 74 kilohertz frequency. I guess it goes up to. So, yeah, that's going to be really interesting. And I found it really interesting. And Mike and I had this conversation the other day, was that the original Deus 1 with its elliptical coil, the highest frequency was 74 on that too, Mike. Isn't that sort of ironic that my lab ran a machine now with a 74 kilohertz for that Gold Monster? So that's just, to me, that was pretty interesting. Teresa said, "Thank you. You got it, Teresa. I'll be glad to share those settings with you." Digging Daryl says, "Mike, when do you expect your next shipment of HF2 coils?"
Well, I'll tell you. We normally get an auto ship every Friday that goes out. So on Tuesdays, normally sometimes Wednesdays with delays, an XP order comes in. And the last order that we had come in, we had some coils in it. But that was obviously last week. So we're hoping possibly Tuesday, to see some more coils, but I have not been able to verify that yet. But we'll see. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
yeah,
I know you. As soon as you get them, and I'm gonna say this about Mike, and a lot of you don't know this, but when Mike sells you a coil, you really get service after the sale. And when he does sell it to you, even before he ships it to you, he's going to send you some extra information and some things that you will need before your coil even arrives, so you can get ready for your coil. So Mike does a lot of prep work even before he actually ships you your coil, and he notifies you when he gets that coil in, lets you know that it's coming, and gives a lot of service after the sale. And that's why Mike is one of the best dealers in our area. That's why Mike is one of the best dealers in the Southeast, in my opinion. So
we
again,
try.
yeah, and we appreciate you, Mike. And again, his contact information, if you're looking for anything metal detecting related, give Mike a try. His information is down there at the bottom. So definitely go and check him out. You can go check him out at LMS Metal Detecting. He's also on Facebook too, but you can go and check him out on his store. And again, all of his contact information, link to the store is right there as well. So you can go and check Mike out. So definitely do that. Doug Atkins says, Mike has been sending up right. Yeah, he keeps you in the loop. That's what I was just saying, Doug. So again, he lets you know what's going on, when you could possibly expect things, and so on. He does a great job of doing that. And SK Ferraro says 21 likes and 40. We need more likes. Come on, guys. Now, hey, I'm here on a Friday night. I drug Mike out on a Friday night just to be on our live stream. And again, Mike was sort of hit with this last minute, but again, we appreciate Mike being here and sharing
I enjoy it.
his great knowledge and information. And Mike's a great friend. Mike is the first person I ever metal detected with, and so he's going to always.
That was a long time ago. It sure was. We used to have fun.
Oh yeah, we still have fun. We have a lot of fun, and so let's since we're talking about having fun, let's share Mike's find from the other day, and that was my find from the other day. So let's take that one down. Let's see here. Is this Mike's? I shared the wrong one there, Mike. Let's see if I can.
You did, yeah.
There it is. So Mike dug this beautiful South Carolina Civil War button off of a site that we have walked multiple times. And he dug it right dead in the center of the site, which was just really crazy. But that is a beautiful South Carolina Civil War button. I'm waiting for him to send me the back mark so I can really sort of narrow it down, because my guess is that button is an early Civil War button, which means it's probably an 1861 button or an 1860 possibly. It could be pre-Civil War, but I do want to see that back mark, Mike, when you do get it cleaned up. But Mike found this running the Manicore. He was running the 11-inch coil, and Mike was running his special sauce program, which what I call it, the special sauce. And it is a beauty of a button. So congratulations to Mike finding that button. But Mike was also with me when I dug this. And I dug a 1877 seated dime. And this one was in pretty rough shape. We had a hard time identifying it. And I do have that video coming, and our hunt coming too. So I sort of did a spoiler alert, Mike, by showing them these things. But I wanted them to know. Yeah, I wanted them to know that we've dug some nice things just recently, and all these have been dug within the last couple of weeks. And here was Mike's find from Saturday, and I wanted to share that too. And this is this beautiful Sportsman's button, and we believe that he's holding either a fox or a minx, or we don't know. What do you think it is?
I think it was a fox. That's what it looked like to me. If you zoom in really close with a magnifying glass, it kind of looks like it's got some ears and the nose and the head shaped more like a fox, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. So, but it's a pewter button. You can see the edge is starting to crumble around the outside. It's starting to decay. But this was a beautiful find, and I got real excited about it, Mike, when you dug that, because I love seeing old stuff come out of the ground like that. When I see a
Well,
1700s button, I just go crazy.
I will tell you, you didn't get nearly excited with Michael's seated Liberty. Because remember, before that, we were actually talking about that site had the potential for a gold coin. And it
Yeah,
wasn't maybe 15 minutes after that. I was probably 50, 65 feet from y'all when
yeah.
Michael dug that coin. And you guys were screaming and yelling. I thought you had actually got a gold coin. I thought, you got to be kidding me, man. We were just talking
Oh,
about that.
oh my gosh!
But
If it would have been a
it's
gold coin, I'd have been doing cartwheels out there in the field.
it was still a heck of a find. It really was. Michael really nailed it on that with that
Yeah.
HF2 coil. He
Oh
picked it right
yeah.
out. Yeah.
So and here, since we're talking about it, look at that beauty that Michael dug. That is a 1876 seated Liberty quarter, and I have never seen one of those dug in our area, and I've never dug one. So that, and if you guys watched the video, you guys saw how excited I was just when Michael dug this out of the ground. I mean, I was just beside myself, because I just really didn't expect that to happen. But it's a beautiful 1876 seated Liberty, and that was found with the HF2 coil running those settings that we were using. So again, and Michael was real patient. He stayed pretty locked in a one little area, didn't he, Mike?
He did. He was very productive in that area with that coil as well. I mean, if you once you publish that video, you'll see Michael really he did good that day. He did.
Yeah, he did, and this is a beautiful coin, and we were just blown away by that find. And then, of course, this was my bucket lister that I dug with the HF2. This is a police officer's button that dates between 1850 to 1870 is the date that I got off of it. And this was found running the HF2 coil on the same site where Mike found that South Carolina button, and just a beautiful, beautiful button. I didn't even know what this was, because I've just never seen one, and I had to do a lot of research to figure that one out. And but the HF2 coil had that good, smooth, clean sound running that two-tone program that we were using. And I knew right away that that was going to be something special. And then the final one that I dug with the HF2 coil was this beauty. Although it's in rough shape, this is a Nova Constellatio, which is one of the first coins ever minted by the U.S. government. And that coin dates to 1785. And that was dug with the HF2 coil. And once again, smooth sound. 99 was the target ID. And remember, we talked about the bugs earlier. Well, that was one of the bugs, but that bug actually let me know that that was going to be a coin, and it had that good smooth sound going over it. That 99 alerted me, and I dug it, and I got a bucket lister. Both of those were bucket listers, and both of those were dug with the HF2, and it is on video, and you can see me live dig both of those targets, which is real crazy. And we got it from start to finish with both of those targets. And so the HF2 coil, like I said, it does have some bugs, I'll admit it, but did it stop me from finding things? Not really. And, and again, the whole thing is you don't know what you're missing, but I know what I'm finding. That's the
True.
you might not know what you're missing because of a bug, but I also know what I'm finding. So that's I try to keep that as well. So yeah, so we had a great and productive last couple of weeks, and those were some of the best finds from the last couple of weeks. And I was just blown away. And we ran the 3.04 software, all of us, and I ran, and Michael ran the HF2 coil, and we were very productive with those. So, what a great couple of weeks we've had, Mike, running the HF2. Mike, how many people do you have on the HF2 list?
45, 46, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're up there a pretty good ways on it, but
Right,
I'm sure some other dealers have a lot more. But remember, we're doing it uh, unpaid. So if you just want on the list, just let me know and we'll throw you on the list, that sort of thing. So a
right,
lot of those people that have paid on a list somewhere else, if they get that coil in, they just drop off our list real quick. And there's actually a few that have gotten the coil that are still on the list. They got it from somebody else. So I guess there's still one, two of them, or that are probably for a buddy or something like that as well.
right, right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the good thing. Mike's not charging you to get on the list. You don't have to prepay. He'll notify you where you are on the list, and he'll let you know when your name comes up. If it comes in, he's going to send you an email, and he's going to take care of you as well. And Mike really does a great job with service during the sale and after the sale, and we like to say that because we know that that's what's going on with Mike and with LMS metal detecting, and we appreciate him being a sponsor of our channel. And by the way, too, since we're on LMS metal detecting, guys, if you go onto my YouTube link or YouTube page, what you're going to see on the channel page is you'll see the store. Well, now I have Mike's store linked to my YouTube account. So if you're looking for something, you can click on that store page and it will pull up the items and things that Mike has available for sale as well. So all you got to do is click on the store underneath my channel page and you'll see it. If you scroll across, you'll see videos, shorts, community posts, and then you'll see store. Click on the store tab and you will be able to go right to look at all the products that Mike has available. And Mike has everything. Let me tell you, I didn't realize how much stuff Mike had until I started uploading some of this stuff. I was going, dang, it's never going to end. But he's got a ton of stuff from the very minute type of thing all the way up to the big things too. So that's a great thing. He's got something for everybody and any of your metal detecting needs. Mike
Hey,
can
but I got to tell you, it's not all about selling metal detecting gear and equipment. It's about having fun. It's
right,
about taking, the day outside and relaxing and having a good time.
right.
And, everybody getting together on the channel and sharing stories and whatnot and what's going on and talking about metal detecting. I just don't want people to think it's all about sales because it's not.
No,
It really
no.
isn't.
Well, look,
It's my
and
passion, man.
hasn't it been great having Mike with us on these hunts? Because I mean, it's just going out and having a good time,
It is.
and
It is.
and that's what we enjoy doing. And again, we go out there to find history. We go out there to have fun. We go out there to metal detect. We talk metal. We're out there talking metal detectors while we're metal detecting, and yeah, it turns into a lot of fun. And of course, we rap. We'll pick on each other occasionally too, and have good fun, especially when Michael's around. He's not on here right now, but when I get Michael there, even when we get Dan around, we can sometimes pick on Surfside Dan occasionally too. So
Yeah.
we have a ball, and that's what it's ultimately all about: going out and having fun.
Yeah.
But we want everybody to be successful. We want everybody to have the equipment that they need, and we want everybody to enjoy the hobby. And that's where we're at, as far as this stuff goes. So we appreciate that.
And
Christine is so true. Mike, Teresa, the treasure hunter says 100%. Yes, we appreciate you. A couple of other things. Mike, you got any specials or anything you want to mention right now? Anything good going on that somebody might want to pay attention to? I know one thing we need to do, Mike, before we get off of here.
yeah.
Tip of the week, Mike. Tell them your tip of the week, especially for you guys. And I know there are a lot of people on here that are beach hunters. What is your tip of the week if you're coming to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and you're going to go metal detecting out on the beach, and you're not really used to beach hunting? Mike, what's going to be the tip that you want to tell these people when they come down to Myrtle Beach and they want to go metal detecting out on the beach, and then they go back home to Kentucky or Ohio or Indiana, what's some great advice that you have for them? This is Mike's tip of the week.
Okay, tip of the week, and this is actually kind of funny because I had a call today about a fella with it was an Equinox 800, and he's had it for quite some time, but he's having a problem with the fall scene and a lot of chatter. And I asked him when's the last time he had been beach hunting, and he told me it's been about a year to a year and a half ago. And I asked him, did you clean your coil, your skid plate, take it off and clean all that sand out from underneath there that gets trapped before you went back out on a relic site? And he said, no, I hadn't even thought about it. Sure enough, he had his coil cover packed full of high mineralized sand out on a relic site. So we try and let everybody know if you're visiting the beach and you get back to your relic site, your coin shooting site, always make sure you pull that skid plate cover off, clean everything real good. Otherwise, you're really trapping mineralization in there, and it's just going to slow you down some. So, but that solved this problem. It sure did.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
again, great tip from Mike. And this, not necessarily just the beach stuff. You guys that have regular coils and hunt in the dirt all the time, you need to clean those things out occasionally.
Yeah, you really
That'll
do.
help because you never know, you know. Of course, Mike and I know I think Mike's done this. Mike, was it you that stuck the penny on the bottom of the guy's coil that and put a piece of black tape over it?
Yeah, I've played that trick a couple times on some fellas.
So you start getting a wonky signal, and you're with a bunch of guys that you know love to harass and pick on people. Then you better check the bottom of your coil if you're getting a lot of funky signals, because it could be a penny taped to the bottom. Yes, that's a great tip for sure, Mike. Mike,
It gets the best of them, man, because you're like, what in the world is going on? You're not thinking something stuck to your coil, but it's fun to watch. It really is.
oh yeah, you can definitely mess with somebody doing that for sure. And we've laughed about it. I know who Mike did it to, so that's what makes it even more funny. So, but yeah, so Diggy Darrell says, great tip, Mike. And Mike, again,
Thank you.
Mike is, and I'll say this to Mike, he's on here, and I'll say it to his face. He's a very good beach detectorist. And I've always told him this. I said, man, I don't know how you do it, but this guy can hunt a beach. And if there's something out there, it's like he's a magnet right to a ring or anything out on that beach. And I'm going, how in the heck do you do that? But if there's anybody that can, him and Surfside Dan, if there are any two people that can tell you something about a beach, it's those two guys. And I'm grateful that I've got those two guys as friends, because when I go out on that beach, I feel lost sometimes. I just like going, what the heck am I doing out here? And I always get Mike or Dan to sort of clue me in on what I need to be doing. But I don't mind hunting the beach. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I love hunting it when I'm with Mike and Dan, because they can definitely help me out for sure. Yes.
We have fun. Yeah, we do.
Dictator Two Guns says the tides say it all. And here's the other thing: if you Mike's got a great Facebook page too. And the other thing is, if you're in this area or near this area, Mike can get you hooked up with the tide chart, because I get them on my phone, and it lets you know when the moon tides are coming in, the king tides, and when low tide's going to be happening. So if you ever come to Myrtle Beach, go check Mike out, and go follow him on Facebook too, guys, because it's really a very informative page, and there's a lot of great beach hunters that are on his page as well, and they really share a lot of information over there on LMS Metal Detecting on Facebook. And then, of course, Mike's great store, LMS Metal Detecting store as well. So definitely want to go and check those things out. So, Mike, I know that. What do you foresee in the future as far as metal detectors going? What do you foresee for the next year, for the end of the year? Do you foresee anything coming, or do you feel like there could be something coming?
In the next year, I don't really see anything, groundbreaking. But I do really feel like in the next 5 years, we're going to start seeing a lot more imaging devices.
Right.
And when I say, like the Manicore with this two-dimensional screen, I think we're really close to seeing, and who knows, this might be in one of the new machines that are getting released here recently, or will be getting released recently. We might be looking at two-dimensional, three-dimensional, and full color,
Right.
a full spectrum screen on it. I mean, we're real close to that. I can really feel
Right.
it, and I think
Right.
some of
Well, with
these
the
game
Manicore,
players
Mike,
working.
that 2D screen, and
Yeah,
I know a lot is said about that screen, oh, it's not really doing this, it's not doing that. But I don't know, Mike. That screen has helped me in multiple situations, and I've sort of learned, just like I know you really know the Manicore.
yeah,
Um, I've sort of learned that screen can really give you a lot of data and information on a
it
dig or not dig situation. But is
it's
it
it
foolproof? It's not. No.
It's not, but you got to look at it like this. When you start talking about imaging and a screen like that, what it's doing basically is giving you one more level of discrimination. You can
Yeah.
actually kind of see that. And, some of these other programs with different machines, even the DS2's got, the XY screen and all that is similar in a certain way, but kind of different. But I always tell folks, if you're on a site with 10,000 maybe signals, just tons of iron, I mean, you're getting signals everywhere. That added form of discrimination sometimes can really help you out if you slow down and start studying that screen a little bit more. It's almost telling you, dig it, man. You do have something non-ferrous down here in this hole. And there's a lot going around it. And even in the Manicore, sometimes you'll see those splashes from the
Right.
bottom up, top down. But once you really start studying it, sometimes you can really pick out a
Right.
signal in a field of 1,000 signals that maybe, maybe not, and it really helps you zero in some more on.
Right, Mike, and
Mhm.
I said this at the beginning of the show. We were talking about how live digs really help you, and again, in that situation, with the Manicore in your hands, think about that piece of data that you're getting from the Manicore when you start to see that bleed. Either it's bleeding down or bleeding up. And then you
Yep.
start seeing targets that happens to quite frequently. And then that makes you start digging some of those targets. And then you really learn that machine. You sort of can get an idea for what you might be dealing with or what that target could possibly be, based on where you set those Ferris limits on the Manicore. And
Yep.
that's what I really like about that machine. And I love the user interface on the Manicore as well. I think it's real easy to use. I think people can pick it up and go with it. And it just gives you a lot of information. I'm really hoping that XP will maybe do something with their XY screen, but I don't know if they have the capability of doing like a 2D type deal
I
with the XP with the XY screen.
mhm.
But I really hope that XP does start to lean towards something along those lines because, and like Surfside Dan keeps saying, he says if you could take the XP Deus 2 and made it with the Manicore, I'd have the perfect machine. And he's right. I believe,
Yeah, yeah,
he
absolutely.
is. I mean,
Mhm.
if you get all the advantages of the Deus 2 and all the advantages of the Manicore, it would be a great machine. So it is
Yeah,
something that is definitely sticks in your head. And the Manicore screen is just, to me, I love it. I think it is a true benefit to that machine. I think it does give you an advantage, and that's why I like that machine in a lot of situations. Um, I love the XP machine for the audio.
yep.
The more responsive audio, I think I get more audio modulation on a lot of targets, but it's not like it doesn't alert you. I mean, the Manicore does alert you, and it does have a sweet sound. I love the way the Manicore sounds over coins, period. But you just heard me say with that HF2 coil, I could tell that was going to be a coin whenever I got over it. I knew what that was based on the
Yeah.
target ID and based off the sound and the audio. And I think the Manicord also does that same thing very, very well. What do you think about it, comparing those two?
Everything you said exactly. But I will tell you, like, it wasn't that long ago on a site where I became an old pro at digging shotgun brass.
Right.
The newer ones always got a really bad sound to it, but
That's
those
going to get
real old
everybody.
shotgun brass, and what was really going on is we had an area in the woods where we were digging buttons, but the area was absolutely littered with old shotgun brass as well. And I really started picking up on the Manicore with that splash from bottom up, not top down. A lot of those shells, shotgun brass, they were coming in at that. And it was kind of letting me know, hey, this is probably going to be another shotgun brass. And it was just about every time.
Right.
Uh, but it got to the point where I really wasn't afraid not to dig it, afraid of missing one of those good buttons, because it really kind of zoned me in on it by
Right.
looking at that screen with it. And once again, if you're not digging those shotgun brass, especially those old ones, on a site with Civil War buttons and stuff like
You,
that,
you,
you're going to be missing buttons.
you got, yeah,
So
you got to dig it.
mhm,
You got to
you
dig it.
got to dig it. You got to dig it. But it sure was nice to be able to really start picking out some of that shotgun brass. It's like, I'm getting old. I can't keep getting up and down, up and down. So some of them, I'm like, I'm pretty confident that's going to be another shotgun brass, and I'm passing on this one. And I was pretty confident doing that just by having that screen. So yeah, XP with the XY screen, I think they'll be looking at it, 'cause there's a lot of guys out there that still tell me XY screen's the way to go, man. They love it. They absolutely
Well,
love
and
it.
you
And
know what?
there's
You
like
know where I see
Wi-Fi.
people. You know where I see people using that. I see them using it on the beach more so than relic hunting with
Bottle
that
caps.
HDI screen. I've seen that a good bit,
Yep.
and I've never really gotten just blown away by the XY screen. So I'll be honest, I don't use it that much, and I wish there was some way that they could modify it or make it where it was a little more informative, like the
Yep.
Manicore. But again, with you talk about brass shotgun shells. One of the things that I see that I'm noticing with the Deus 2 is that with those shotgun shells, where the percussion or where the hammer hits on the shell, the top
Center
of the
fire.
shell, the impact point, whatever you want to call it, percussion point,
Center fire. Yeah.
the center fire, right? So when it
Mhm.
hits right there, sometimes with the Deus 2, I've noticed I can hear
Yep.
that one little pop in that shell, and I know right off the bat that's probably going to be a shotgun shell. And that's one thing I don't get with the Manicore that I do get with the Deus 2. So if you were to compare those two, you would see that audio might be, but here's the thing that the Manicore does very, very well. If it is an odd shaped target, then you can look at that screen and you start to know, hey, this isn't necessarily round. It could be a little bit mangled. It could be different. You see that with the Manicore, and the audio does make some sort of differentiation that, letting you know, hey, this isn't necessarily something completely round at that point. And so those are the things that I see with those two machines just on a shotgun shell. And of
Yep.
course, I've used both of those machines enough to where I know the data. And again, you're not going to get this from testing this in your backyard. You're going to
No.
get this from using it out in the field.
Mhm.
And I can hear those types of things, and digging those targets gives me a lesson, an education, and taking that data and using it for the next hunt and the next hunt and the next hunt on after that. Right?
Right. And it can be to your real advantage to know some of those things when you do get on a site like that where you're just absolutely livid. You're sick of digging those shotgun brass, and you're like, man, and then you get that signal and think, this is going to be a really nice button. And if you're not paying close attention, it's another shotgun brass.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
it can be frustrating, but when you
Yeah.
really can start picking them out, it makes it nice, man. Especially for the relic hunters in the woods,
Right.
because that's a thing. It sure is. Yeah.
Right. Bell's 1054 says, is the XY screen better with the new beta version? Bells, I hate to tell you, I don't think so. I don't think they've done anything to the XY screen. And that is something that I really hope that they address maybe in a coming update or new version software. But right now,
Mhm.
still the same from what I can tell. But maybe there's something coming in the future, and I certainly hope so. And we'll keep our fingers crossed that they improve that a little bit more and make that where it's just better, I guess. I do know that again, a lot of people love it out on the beach. They really can tell a lot from those targets, bottle caps, and so on. They can really get a good feel for that with that XY screen running. Mike, have
Yeah.
you ever used the XY screen on the days too out on the beach by chance?
Actually, I have
Okay.
not,
Okay.
because I got to wear glasses to see it with the littler screen on there, and on glasses on the beach is a tough thing to do with that salty air.
Yeah. Oh, I get it, brother. I get it
Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
So, Mike, someone asked me earlier too about the Coltech coils.
Mhm.
I mean, I've only got one, and I've got it on my Equinox 900. What
Yeah.
do you know about Coltech, and can you just sort of maybe give a little rundown as far as Coltech coils?
Actually, we don't sell them, so I really can't speak to them real well. But I've owned personally
I knew you'd owned
three.
them.
Yeah, yeah. One of them was on an old machine that used to harass me all the time. It was one of those you got to stop and ground balance every 15, 30
Right,
minutes.
right.
But very sensitive coils. I love the Coiltech coils. Never had a problem with them. I did, however, at one time have an issue with one. I'm not sure what was going on with it, and I really never investigated it further. But I was getting a lot of static early in the morning on a grassy field. It just kept getting just unstable from all the static when I was swinging that coil across the grass. And you could reach down, grab it, kind of ground it out, and it would be fine for a little while. And I went back and actually put the stock coil back on the machine and didn't have the problem after that. And I would always wanted to kind of ask Coil Tech, hey, what's going on here? Is it because it's a much more sensitive coil, or what was going on? But that's the only issue I had ever had with one of their coils, and it really wasn't an issue other than just static electricity building up. It could have been their power lines were real close by or something. I don't remember, but it did kind of mess me up that one morning I was out there. I spent about 45 minutes trying to figure out what in the world was going on with my machine, and that's what it ended up being.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But
Well, I do have. I think you've seen me use this machine before too. I've got an Equinox 900, and I've
yeah,
got the 10 by
10
5
inch.
coil. Yeah, and I love this coil on this machine, and it really, really, really performs well, and it gives it great balance. When you run this coil on here, it really, really lights it up. But it's a great coil for that machine. And I dug a Civil War button with you out on that plantation site that we go to. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I remember you running that cool.
yeah, I dug a General Service Eagle button with it, and it performs
Yeah,
really, really well for me. And
yeah.
really,
I mean,
really like that.
I I would recommend Coiltech any day of the week. They got great products. They really do.
Yeah.
Maybe a little expensive, but that's everything nowadays, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing I really wanted to do real quick here, Mike, is I want to share. I'm going to put your site up. There we are. So there's Mike's webpage. If you haven't checked it out, it is probably one of the best designed web pages out there. And Mike does a great job of showing it, just to sort of let you guys see some of the products and some of the things going across there. And again, he's got everything and anything you need if you're looking for any metal detecting related gear, and he's got it there for sure. So again, check Mike out. I just got a brand new scoop from Mike. I love my scoop. He's got the titanium scoops, and I really love that. It's so lightweight. If you're a beach hunter, I strongly recommend this scoop, and it's well worth the money too, as I really enjoy using it, and hope to get out on the beach real soon with it too as well. Probably go after the 4th of July, right, Mike?
Yeah, actually, yeah. 4th of July is coming up real quick here with the fireworks up all and down the beach. There's going to be a lot of lost stuff out there, a lot of targets coming up in the next 2 weeks. It's almost like the kickoff of the season for a lot of beach hunters. This is when it really starts happening.
Yeah. After 4th of July is really when it's sort of like beach hunting season, right, Mike?
Yeah, exactly. All the way up and through about mid to late September, it's going to be hot from here on out. And I don't mean the temperatures. I mean people finding gold and silver out there. There's going to be quite a bit of it. Yeah.
So HMB Kentucky says, do you have the new Nocta backpack? Do you have that yet, Mike? Have you seen it?
I believe I do. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. They may have released one yet that I'm not aware of, but I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll
So
have
HMB
to check.
Kentucky, check Mike out and see if it's over there on his webpage because again, if it's available, Mike has it. I'm just going to say that. Or he can get it for you. I know that, right, Mike?
Yeah, that's for sure. Let me pull up here.
He says it just came out. So
might not have it.
I saw the Garrett backpack on your site. I have never seen that before.
The camouflage backpack for Garrett. Is that the one you're talking about?
It was a black backpack for Garrett that I saw.
Oh, I'm not sure. Nocta carry bag. That was one of the latest, $24.99, and the other one is the multi-purpose backpack. It's still sold out. That thing's on back order. So that's probably what's going on. That one backpack's on back order and has been for quite some time while they've been manufacturing something new. So the answer to that question is no, I don't have the newest one out yet. I'll have to look into that and see, make sure we get an order in for him.
He will definitely check it out and see about getting it in for you as well. So yeah, again, I have not seen that yet, so I'm interested in seeing what it looks like too, Mike. But he does have the XP. He does have the XP backpacks. He has the 240 and the 280. I know he has those, and I know he has the Garrett backpack. I've seen it as well. Any other backpacks I'm missing, Mike?
I don't think so.
You got the carry bags too for metal detectors as well. Those are really cool.
Yeah, we actually started manufacturing our own carry bags as well, so we got those too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's Mike's site. If you haven't, this is just to sort of give you a preview of what it looks like. So if you go over there and it's LMS Metal Detecting Store, I believe is what it is. But anyway, you see the link going across the bottom. And those are all the things that he has in stock and some of the things that you can order. And he's got a little bit of everything for everybody. So you can definitely go and check him out. And I know he would appreciate that as well. So we're going to get off of that for a minute. There we are. Now we're back. All right, Mike. So I think we're going to head out. We've been on here for an hour and a half. I think everybody's about metal detected out. We still got 40 some viewers on here, but we're not going to hold you guys. It's Friday night. Everybody needs to go have fun, spend time with their family, and enjoy their Friday nights. And I know Mike wants to enjoy his Friday night. And I appreciate Mike coming in last minute.
No problem.
And we really appreciate him. And it was good, too, because Mike has been out hunting with us over the last couple of weeks. And so he's sort of seen what's going on and what we're doing with these machines. Again, look for more great content. Mike and we will have our hunt coming up. And that video should be out either Sunday or Monday of this week. So stay tuned for that. Next week, just as a reminder to everyone, We're going to have our July 4th show. We will do it on July 3rd, as I have family coming into town, and I know this Mike's probably got things going on too, July 4th, but we're going to do it on a Thursday night. So mark your calendars for Thursday night, as we will be hosting our live stream Thursday night, and we'll have Michael back with us. Hopefully he's repaired and fixed up and he's over his sickness, but we'll have that next Thursday night for that live stream. And we should have a lot of other content coming. There are some things that I'm working on right now, but I'm not gonna delve into that right yet. But there is something that I think you guys are gonna enjoy seeing, and I'll share that with you. Hopefully, maybe next week, maybe before the 4th. It could be a July 4th surprise, Mike. Mike doesn't
All right.
I don't know what this is that I'm working with, but I am going to be working on something, and I think you guys are going to appreciate it, and we should have some content coming with that, something coming really, really soon. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for our video and the content coming on the channel. Check out Mike again, LMS Metal Detecting Store. He can get you hooked up with whatever you need. So definitely check him out, and check out all of our content on the channel. We've got tons and tons of things for everybody. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate that. And we have a lot of great guests coming up. I do have 2 guests lined up coming up for the month of July, which I think you guys are going to appreciate. One of them is very well known. I'm not going to make that announcement yet, but one of them is very well known. And the other is one that's an up-and-comer, and somebody that has a lot of information, some great information about a certain company that they're going to be able to share with you guys. So that's going to be coming up in the month of July. And who knows what else is going to happen in the month of July. But we do have a lot of things coming. So stay tuned for that. And again, we appreciate each and every one of you for being here. We hope everybody has a great rest of their week. Hopefully you have a good weekend. You get out and you detect. You find something great. Go out there and enjoy the hobby. Enjoy what you're doing. Have fun. And I hope everybody has a safe and happy rest of your 4th of July week. And we will see you guys on July 3rd for our live stream. So again, thank you, Mr. Mike. Thank you, Mr. Mike. I never can get that point right. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Mike, for being on here. Yeah, it's always opposite. So
Right.
you for being on here tonight, Mike. Thanks for filling in. We really, really, really appreciate you and all that you do. And
No problem. No problem.
I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. We will catch you guys soon on our next adventure. Stay tuned for more great content. Check out LMS Metal Detecting on Facebook. Go check out all those great beach finds. And there's other things on there too, but it is a lot of beach stuff. But it's great stuff. So if you love that, check them out on Facebook too as well. LMS Metal Detecting. All right, guys. Y'all take care. Have a great night.
Take care.
We'll see you soon on the next adventure. We'll see you guys. Take care. Have a good one. See ya.